You may think you're eating healthy, but some of the most common foods in your kitchen are silently increasing your risk of stroke. I'm Dr. Jonathan Myers, a stroke specialist with over 30 years of experience, and I've seen how daily food choices can become life-altering triggers. What you eat in the morning could be the reason you end up in the ER tomorrow. So let's not keep you waiting. Here's the first food the World Health Organization links to a significantly higher risk of stroke. Topping that list is a group of foods many people eat without a second thought: processed meats. Bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and deli ham may seem harmless, even comforting on your breakfast plate, but they're quietly damaging your blood vessels every single day. These meats are heavily loaded with sodium preservatives and chemical additives, especially nitrates and nitrites. When consumed regularly, these compounds increase inflammation in the blood vessels, harden your arteries over time, and elevate blood pressure, one of the most dangerous risk factors for stroke. Let me give you a clinical perspective. In one large study from the Harvard School of Public Health, individuals who ate just one serving of processed meat per day had a 42% higher risk of heart disease and a 19% higher risk of stroke compared to those who avoided them. That's not a small margin, that's a daily choice with deadly consequences. Another overlooked danger is the hidden salt content. A single sausage link or slice of ham can contain more than 400–600 milligrams of sodium, and some deli meats pack over 1,000 milligrams per serving. When your arteries are constantly under pressure from excess sodium, they become less elastic, more prone to rupture or blockage, prime conditions for a stroke to strike. You might be thinking, but I buy low-fat or organic versions. Unfortunately, the problem isn't just the fat, it's the chemical processing. Even healthier-looking versions still contain nitrates and sodium levels that can keep your blood pressure dangerously elevated. My advice: replace processed meats with healthier protein sources. Try grilled chicken breast, wild-caught salmon, or even plant-based options like lentils and tofu. If you absolutely must eat deli meats, choose low-sodium, nitrate-free options and treat them like a rare indulgence, not a staple. And now that we've cleared your plate of the first major threat, let's move to the second common food that may seem innocent but could be silently sabotaging your brain health every morning. Let's take a closer look at that innocent breakfast hiding in so many pantries across America: sugary breakfast cereals. They come in cheerful boxes, often labeled heart-healthy or whole grain. But behind the bright packaging is a nutritional trap. Many of these cereals contain more added sugar than a frosted donut and barely any fiber, healthy fat, or real nutrients. The danger: that early morning sugar spike. High-sugar cereals send your blood glucose soaring, triggering a flood of insulin. And when that crash inevitably follows, it places stress on your cardiovascular system. Over time, this roller coaster effect increases inflammation in your arteries, weakens your blood vessel walls, and raises your risk for ischemic stroke. And here's the catch: even cereals marketed to adults or seniors aren't much better. Those labeled whole grain often still contain 10 to 15 grams of sugar per serving, and most people pour more than one serving into their bowl. You're essentially starting your day with a dessert disguised as breakfast. If you're already living with high blood pressure or prediabetes, this is especially dangerous. That morning sugar surge can quietly erode your vascular health every single day. What's a smarter swap? Try unsweetened steel-cut oats, plain Greek yogurt with berries, or a low-glycemic smoothie with chia seeds. These give your brain sustained fuel without the crash, and they help stabilize your blood pressure over time. Now, let's shift our focus to a whole category of snacks many people reach for without a second thought: salty processed snacks like chips, crackers, and pretzels. They might seem harmless, especially in small handfuls. But here's what decades of research have shown: excess sodium is one of the most potent triggers for high blood pressure, and high blood pressure is the single greatest modifiable risk factor for stroke. The average American consumes over 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day, far above the recommended 1,500–2,300 milligrams. And just one small bag of potato chips can pack over 500 milligrams, not counting the other salty foods you've eaten that day. Why is this so dangerous? Too much salt causes your body to retain fluid, increasing blood volume and putting pressure on your arteries. Over time, this leads to stiffened vessel walls, a higher likelihood of plaque rupture, and a dramatic increase in stroke risk, particularly in people over 60. Worse, many of these snacks contain refined carbohydrates and inflammatory seed oils, creating a triple threat to your vascular health: salt, sugar-like carbs, and processed fat, all in one handful. So, what should you snack on instead? Try raw, unsalted almonds, air-popped popcorn without butter, or carrot sticks with hummus. These options deliver crunch satisfaction and nutrients without the vascular damage. Still, salty snacks are just the beginning. Up next is a food millions eat daily, often thinking it's light or diet, but it's secretly working against your brain health. Let's talk about a deceptive category that's marketed as healthy, artificially sweetened foods and diet products. You've probably seen labels that say sugar-free, 0 calories, or diet-friendly. These products often contain artificial sweeteners like aspartame sucralose or acesulfame potassium. While they may help you avoid sugar, the trade-off isn't harmless, especially when it comes to stroke risk. A major study published in the Stroke Journal followed over 81,000 women for more than a decade. It found that women who drank just one artificially sweetened beverage per day had a significantly higher risk of both stroke and dementia, even when controlling for other factors like weight and diabetes. So what's the link? These artificial sweeteners disrupt gut microbiota, increase insulin resistance, and may even cause blood vessels to become more reactive, leading to higher blood pressure spikes. Some also trigger sweet cravings, encouraging people to eat more processed food overall. And don't be fooled by products like diet yogurt, sugar-free pudding, or even low-calorie frozen meals. Many are packed with chemicals that confuse your brain's satiety signals, raising inflammation and sabotaging metabolic health, both key contributors to stroke risk. If you want a safer sweet fix, try unsweetened Greek yogurt with fresh fruit, or a smoothie using real berries and a touch of raw honey. You'll support brain health without the artificial downside. Next, we'll move into comfort food territory, a common indulgence that brings warmth but may also quietly warm up your stroke risk. Few things feel more comforting than a warm buttery biscuit or flaky croissant in the morning. But these butter-laden baked goods, from store-bought pastries to homemade scones, can quietly push your brain toward danger. The issue isn't just the refined white flour or the sugar, though those don't help. It's the massive dose of saturated fat and trans fat that gets baked in, especially from butter margarine or shortening. Here's why that matters. Saturated fats can increase LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that clogs arteries. When your arteries' narrow blood flow to the brain is compromised, raising your risk of ischemic stroke. And it's not just about long-term buildup. One fatty breakfast can raise inflammation and blood pressure for hours afterward, creating the perfect storm for a vascular event. Worse yet, many store-bought baked goods still contain partially hydrogenated oils, the main source of trans fats, which are directly linked to stroke and even banned in several countries. Yet in the U.S., small amounts still sneak in under labels like 0G trans fat due to outdated loopholes. And here's the kicker: these foods digest quickly, spike your blood sugar, then leave you hungry again, driving you to snack more and more, keeping your blood vessels under stress. Instead of reaching for a buttery biscuit, try a slice of whole grain toast with avocado or a warm bowl of steel-cut oats with berries and nuts. These alternatives nourish the brain, stabilize energy, and support vascular health. But before we wrap up, there's one last silent threat hiding in your drink. Let's dive into our final food culprit. To close our list, let's talk about a major stroke risk that many people drink without a second thought: sugary beverages. Whether it's regular soda, sweetened iced tea, or that flavored latte with whipped cream, these drinks may seem harmless. But they are among the top drivers of inflammation and vascular damage in the American diet. Here's the science. These drinks deliver a rapid surge of glucose into your bloodstream. That blood sugar spike doesn't just impact your energy, it also causes damage to the inner lining of your arteries. Over time, this damage increases arterial stiffness, promotes plaque buildup, and raises blood pressure, all of which significantly elevate stroke risk. And it doesn't take much. Studies show that just one sugary drink per day can increase your risk of stroke by 20–25%. That's because most of these beverages contain 30–50 grams of sugar, more than your entire daily limit. What makes it worse is how easily these drinks slip into your routine. You drink them quickly. They don't fill you up. And because they don't trigger the same fullness signals as food, you're more likely to overeat throughout the day, compounding the vascular stress. Instead, hydrate smartly. Choose water, unsweetened herbal teas, or even infused water with lemon mint or berries. Want a warm drink? Try black coffee or green tea. Both have brain-protective antioxidants without the sugar bomb. Sugary drinks are often disguised as a treat or comfort. But if stroke prevention is your goal, it's time to rethink what's in your cup. Now that you've seen all 6 offenders, let's bring everything together in our final advice segment. Now you know stroke prevention doesn't just happen in the doctor's office. It starts in your kitchen, your cupboard, and even your coffee cup. These 6 foods and drinks may seem routine, but they're quietly increasing inflammation, blood pressure, and arterial damage, all key drivers of stroke. As a stroke specialist with over 30 years in the field, I've seen firsthand how simple daily choices can change the course of a patient's life. You don't need a radical diet overhaul, just smart substitutions and awareness. Start with one change this week, then build from there. If you found this helpful, share it with someone you care about. And don't forget to subscribe for more brain protective tips straight from the field. I'm Dr. Jonathan Myers. Stay smart, stay safe, and take care of that brilliant brain of yours.